I, once again, Robert Courts, coming to you from your backyard with a update on the real estate going on during our quarantine with my friend, my mentor, and my accountability partner, Mark Steward. Mark, thank you for joining us.
Glad to be here.
As a little background, Mark and I met through Shop Local Raleigh and a mutual attorney friend of ours, and we've had an instant rapport. Mark is an entrepreneur, if second, maybe third generation. He brings a great amount of energy and fun to whatever project he puts his attention to. And I thought it'd be great to get a little real estate update from Mark. So, Mark, thanks again for joining us.
Absolutely. Always glad to be in any room you are.
Um, well, Mark, can you tell us a little bit about your real estate practice, the Mark Steward team?
The Mark Steward team, we've been around for 5 years and basically deal in the Raleigh, Durham, Chapel Hill market locally. Um, and have been selling quite a bit of homes over the last few years and are still doing a lot of business. Just had a closing this morning, have another closing next week. So houses are definitely closing from those that were sold before we got into the coronavirus. The closings are a little bit different. They're called drive-through closings, and if
Tell us
uh,
about that.
all of you have probably been through a drive through before, and it's very similar. I had the listing on the home, and so they basically sit in a car. The paralegal walks out and hands the paperwork to them. Then I walk them through all the paperwork. We sign it. She comes out. She checks it again, and then it's over. So there's no going in, sitting down. Um, you really want to have a realtor on your side
Mhm.
that knows what's happening with the closings, because the paralegals and the lawyers are not staying at the car side to go through all the paperwork. And it takes about 45 minutes to be able to walk the client through it. So I was very glad that I was there to be a part of that. But I would say that it's an important aspect of a realtor being in the equation to help that component, now that it's become really even a more do-it-yourself um, type situation.
Right. It's always my advice to get a realtor, especially if you're buying, because it doesn't cost you anything. But now, more so than ever, having that local person that you can trust, that knows the area, it's paramount. What other changes have you found, like for listings or showings in the quarantine area?
So I had a listing appointment yesterday, which I'm very happy to say I got the listing on, and so you guys will be able to buy it from me soon. Plug for me. And during that, I arrived with my gloves on and a mask to ensure that the clients felt comfortable,
Mhm.
that I was protecting them as much as I possibly could, because as we have heard, the masks are for our protection, but also for the protection of the other people.
Right.
The gloves are for my protection, as well as protection for the other people. And it just felt much easier. I could do the same operation through walking around the home, touching what I needed to, opening the doors, without having to worry about the fact that I was in someone else's home that I don't know,
Right.
and how are they doing during this period of time. Um, and so this, fortunately for realtors, we love face to face interaction. And so it made a great morning to be able to go and spend a couple of hours with
Mhm.
people, as opposed to at home trying to operate, from behind the screen. Um, and so, they had a lovely home. And as I'm going through doing the listings, I do the listing the same way. I offer free staging services, because I'm an official stager.
Mhm.
And as part of my listing, I do the staging for people. And so I'm able to offer all of those things by being in the home and saying, this is what we've got to get rid of, this is what's got to move, and getting it ready. And if the house is perfectly prepared, This house that I closed this morning, 6 weeks ago, when we put it on the market, it literally went on the market at 9 a.m. And at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, we had the deal finalized, and they were actually they were on a cruise ship before
Ooh.
this problem. Yeah, I know, scary, right? They were on a cruise ship going through the safety, finding out about the lifeboats and stuff while we negotiated the deal. But the deal came in at full price. Um,
No, hold on a
so
second on that safety check. Yeah, I'll take it.
exactly. So, I asked them this morning, I said, have y'all been telling people that you sold your house in 6 hours? And they said, oh, everybody that we possibly run into, we have to let them know.
Nice.
So, the house, and that's because the house was really clean. It was staged beautifully. The people could walk in the house and put themselves in there. So, it's great to have a lot of clients who are having that type of experience. And I think once we get past this coronavirus time frame where people are a little bit more afraid right now, a lot of
Right.
people taking their houses off the market because they don't want people walking through their home. They're already sitting at home all day long, so how are they going to get out and try to clean it up for a showing? Um, so once this is passed and we sort of go back to whatever the new normal will be, we're going to see a big surge of
Yeah,
real estate happening again here.
I think so too. We realize, hey, I need a bigger house in case I have to do this again with my family. I can tell you that. And second, this was the time. This is the season. Normally, you'd be up to your eyeballs in
Oh
activity.
yeah,
Um, that's going to definitely be a change. I'm encouraging your clients, my clients, and this entire audience, while you're at home, start thinking about listing or the buying and start building your team from local assets.
absolutely.
I can, please.
No, I was just going to say, absolutely great, great plan. Because just like with the lady that I met with yesterday, her and her husband are moving out of the country, so they have a lot of bells and they've got a lot of pieces of the puzzle that have to come together. And we were able to talk about the time frame and the timeline of what they needed to do so that it can be as easy as possible. And that is during this period of time, pull everything out of those closets
Hmm.
and decide what's going to be sold, what's not going to be, what's going to move, and get it all ready to put on the market, with selling whatever you're not going to take to the new house. So it's a great cleansing period of time, for us, to be at home anyway.
Right.
But if you're
A lot
thinking
of that
about,
stuff could be donated to people who are going to really need it in the short.
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, Mark, just a little behind the scenes. A lot of people don't know that Mark was an integral part of launching YBY. That you partnership and your mentorship helped us get where we are today. So I thank you. And I use that as a segue because as a local business owner, you touch a lot of other nonprofits and opportunity, the arts, for example. Can you tell us a little bit about what's going on with your arts endeavors at this time?
Absolutely. Thank you for, it's always great to be a partner with you and Jonathan on everything you guys do. Um, I am the chairman of the United Arts Council of Wake County and Raleigh. Uh, and what that does is it provides money, uh, and direction for artists to be able to be in schools
Mm.
and teach their respective art, to the students. It also is municipalities. So when you see the large, um, murals, there's the murals project that's happening all over Wake County.
I've
When you
heard
see those murals, we as United Arts have funded that. There are 34 organizations. So if you've gone to, a theater show in Garner, at Garner Performing Arts, and seen a show, or the Cary Community Choir, Lazy Days, we
that.
provide funding to all of those
Hmm.
aspects. IBMA, also is another recipient of our funds. So we need there is, for the artists right now who may be watching us, there is a charity
Fun.
program
Yeah.
fund, thank you, for them to be able to apply for some money during this period of time. And if they go on the United Arts Council of Raleigh and Wake County.org website,
Mhm.
they will find the link to that fund to be able to apply to get some funding during this period of time when it's so tough. Also, as of April 10th, which is next day or so,
2 days.
yeah, we are. We also funding artists for, and so Greg Witt, who you've
Oh, yeah.
recently interviewed, was a recipient of our funding from that, as many other artists in town are. And so we're giving money for the furthering of their education in their particular art. So please, look all that up for resources. And as the artists and theaters start to come back out of this, of course, we'll be very on the front lines um, doing things to support the arts as well.
We'll be right there beside you. And our local artists and the nonprofits, as well as businesses, make Raleigh unique and special.
Absolutely.
And I keep seeing the meme going around that if you didn't appreciate the arts before the quarantine, then I guarantee you're getting it now every chance you get. So thanks for that. You also work a lot with healing transitions.
Yes, yes. And I would love to speak about Healing Transitions for a moment as well. I'm on the board there as well. And they service recovering homeless and underinsured people. We have a men's campus at Dix Park, and we have a women's campus at Umstead Park. We have 300, we're roughly serving around 330 men out of the men's, and that means that they're staying there on a daily basis. They live in the facility. We have a detox center where people, when they're picked up under a bridge or wherever they're coming from, and they are then brought to us by the police, if they take them to the hospital, they have to sit with them. If they bring them to our detox center, because we will keep them for 48 hours, the police actually can leave them with us. And then we will get those people through the detox process. Once they're detoxed, then they can go on to go through the recovery process and also live within the facility for as long as it takes, up until they get their 12th, until they get their chips, their time frame in as a sober person. We help them to learn how to live in our society, as many of them truly are homeless and have maybe not had any experience with checkbook and those types of things. What we need is any type of PPE, just the same thing that everybody is short of. We need the N95 masks, gloves, any type of clothing that anybody has. As we were talking about a while ago, when you're going through a home and you've got your stuff ready to go, take it to a local place, such as Healing Transitions. And we give when the people get there, generally they have nothing.
Right.
So we give 3 pieces of clothing per week to the person who stays with us, and they can build some of a wardrobe for themselves, so that when they leave the facility, they do have at least clothing. So anything you have, you can take it to the men's center or the women's center, and somebody will come out front and take it from you. You don't have to worry about interacting with anybody or anything like that. So,
What if we wanted to make a cash or financial donation? Y'all accept that too?
well, we love that. We need a lot of cash, as you can imagine. And so if they want to do a cash donation just to Healing Transitions, in fact, healingtransitions.org, if you go on the site there is a button for donate, and they would truly appreciate any cash or any money, that all donations of all types. Presently, we don't have any. We can't have volunteers because nobody can go in and out of the facilities except those who live in there. But once this is over, we also need volunteers, because we have a store over on Capitol Boulevard, thrift store, where we take all the things that are donated that the occupants can't use in clothing, and we sell them, and then we take that money and it's all 100% back into. It's not like some other charities who have a huge CEO making, a lot of money and things like
Right.
that. This is
Yeah.
just right. This is a local organization serving local people, and a lot of people are aware of tent cities for homelessness
Mhm.
in major cities. We don't have that here in Raleigh, and one of the reasons that we don't have that is because Healing Transitions is taking those homeless people in and giving them a place to stay.
Mark,
Yes,
thank you.
you're welcome.
It's a treat to be your friend, but Raleigh, Mark Steward of the Mark Steward team is safely still showing houses, still helping you buy and sell houses. He's also supporting the arts 24/7. If you go to any arts event once the quarantine's over, you'll probably see Mark. I know I do. And he's also on the board of Healing Transitions, helping people overcome their addictions and integrate into society. All this and more is right here in your backyard. Mark, thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Robert, and it's great to see you, and stay safe.
Certainly will. We'll put links in our comments on the Facebook page. So if anybody's interested, we'll make it real easy to find Mark, the United Arts, and Healing Transition. So thank you. And we'll talk soon, Mark. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everybody.